In medieval Europe, people believed they were fighting evil. They hunted, feared, and killed creatures they thought were connected to darkness, thinking it would protect their communities. But in doing so, they may have triggered a chain reaction that helped one of the deadliest pandemics in human history spread faster. This is the strange, unsettling story of how superstition, fear, and a simple misunderstanding may have made the Black Death even worse. To understand this story, you need to picture daily life in medieval Europe. Cities were overcrowded, streets were narrow and muddy, waste was often thrown directly outside homes. Food scraps, animal remains, and garbage piled up in public spaces. Sewage flowed through open drains. These conditions created the perfect environment for pests. And above all, rats. Rats lived in walls, under floors, in markets, and inside ships. They fed on waste and reproduced quickly. Disease could spread easily in a world like this, but nature had its own form of control: cats. Daily life in medieval cities was shaped by constant uncertainty. Most people had little understanding of how disease actually spread. There were no microscopes, no germ theory, and very limited medical knowledge. When someone fell ill, explanations often came from religion or folklore rather than science. Doctors relied on herbs, bloodletting, and spiritual remedies. And when treatments failed, people searched for something or someone to blame. In an environment filled with fear and confusion, rumors spread almost as quickly as disease itself. This atmosphere made societies extremely vulnerable, not just to illness, but to panic. Cats had lived alongside humans for centuries. They protected food stores and reduced vermin. Farmers valued them, merchants tolerated them, and towns quietly depended on them. They were silent hunters, efficient, adaptable, and everywhere. Without realizing it, medieval communities relied on cats as part of an invisible ecological balance. But that balance was fragile, and it would soon be disrupted by something far more powerful than disease: fear. For centuries before the Middle Ages, cats had been valued animals. In many ancient cultures, they were symbols of protection and even good fortune. They guarded grain stores and helped prevent famine by controlling pests. But cultural perception is fragile. As beliefs shifted, the practical benefits of cats were slowly overshadowed by suspicion and fear. This change didn't happen overnight. It was gradual, shaped by sermons, stories, and social pressure. And once a community collectively believes something, it becomes reality in their daily actions. During the Middle Ages, superstition shaped daily life. Unexplained illness, crop failure, or natural disasters were often blamed on supernatural forces. Religion and folklore mixed with fear of the unknown. And in this atmosphere, cats, especially black cats, became symbols of suspicion. They were linked to witches, to bad luck, to dark magic. Stories spread that cats were companions of evil forces, that they carried curses. Over time, perception changed. Cats were no longer protectors. They became targets. Across parts of Europe, cats were killed in large numbers, sometimes during public festivals, sometimes as part of rituals meant to cleanse communities. People believed removing cats would drive away evil influences. But what they didn't realize was simple: they weren't removing danger. They were removing protection. And nature responds quickly when balance is disturbed. Fear is one of the most powerful forces in human history. When people face threats they don't understand, they look for clear explanations. Simple answers feel safer than complex ones. Blaming animals, outsiders, or supernatural forces gave communities a sense of control in a chaotic world. It wasn't cruelty that drove these actions. It was the human need to feel safe. But history shows that actions driven by fear often create unintended consequences. With fewer cats to control them, rat populations grew rapidly. More rats meant more fleas, and those fleas carried a microscopic passenger, a bacterium called Yersinia pestis, invisible, silent, deadly. As rats spread through cities and trade routes, So did the infected fleas. And soon, Europe would face a catastrophe unlike anything it had seen before. The plague didn't move randomly. Trade routes connected cities across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. Ships carried goods, people, and unfortunately, infected rats. Ports became entry points. Markets became transmission hubs. Once the disease entered a crowded city, it spread with terrifying speed. Homes were small, families lived close together, isolation was nearly impossible. By the time people realized something was wrong, the outbreak was already out of control. In the mid-14th century, the Black Death swept across Europe. It moved along trade networks from port cities to inland towns. It spread through homes, markets, and crowded streets. Symptoms appeared suddenly: fever, weakness, and painful swellings. Many died within days. Entire communities collapsed. Historians estimate that up to 1/3 of Europe's population died. It was a trauma that reshaped economies, societies, and belief systems. And while the plague had many causes, raid, sanitation, medical ignorance, the absence of natural predators like cats likely made controlling rat populations far more difficult. In trying to fight imagined evil, people may have strengthened a real one. The Black Death didn't just kill millions. It changed how societies function. Labor shortages transformed economies. Wages rose for surviving workers. Entire villages disappeared, leaving empty fields and abandoned homes. The psychological impact was just as profound. People questioned institutions, traditions, and beliefs. Some turned to religion more intensely. Others lost faith entirely. It was a turning point that reshaped Europe for generations. Modern historians debate how large the impact of cat persecution truly was. The Black Death was complex. It spread through multiple pathways and environmental factors. But most agree on one key idea: human behavior played a major role in how the disease spread. Fear, misinformation, and lack of scientific understanding often led to decisions that worsened crises. The medieval war on cats is one example of how belief can unintentionally shape history. Looking back, the story reveals something deeply familiar. Humans still react to crises in similar ways today. When information is scarce, rumors fill the gaps. When fear rises, logic often takes a step back. History shows that understanding and evidence are our strongest tools against panic, and that the way societies respond to uncertainty can shape outcomes as much as the crisis itself. The story isn't just about cats, it's about how societies react to fear. When people face uncertainty, they look for explanations, and sometimes those explanations create new problems. The medieval persecution of cats reminds us that our greatest mistakes don't always come from malice. Sometimes they come from misunderstanding, and sometimes the things we fear most are the very things keeping us safe. History doesn't just record events, it reveals patterns of human behavior, and this story is a powerful reminder that fear, when left unchecked, can change the course of the world.